CGTN Radio. Hear the difference.
Now the news. I'm Shane Bigham. Russian and Ukrainian negotiators are holding the latest round of peace talks in Istanbul. Addressing the delegation ahead of the meeting, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan called for an immediate ceasefire. Mihail Bardavid reports from Istanbul.
Now, during his speech when he addressed the crowd, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan stressed that the conflict continuing benefits no one. He said that fair peace will not have a loser. He called for an immediate ceasefire once again. He said that the progress being made in these talks could potentially pave the way for talks between the leaders of Russia and Ukraine, and that Turkey would want to host those talks as well. Now, regarding expectations from these talks, Ukraine has said that the top priority from their side is to negotiate a ceasefire. There was also a video that was posted online by the Ukrainian President Zelensky. He had stated in that message that he stressed Ukraine's priorities were its sovereignty and territorial integrity. However, he also expressed willingness to discuss adopting a neutral status. Of course, that could potentially be a key point to discuss during the talks. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov stated that the negotiating teams have decided against disclosing any information regarding the progress that was being made here in the talks. So we don't really expect any statements or press conferences following the discussions here. However, he did emphasize that the continuation of face-to-face talks was important.
The group of 7 industrialized nations has agreed to reject Russia's demand to make payments for gas in Russian rubles. German Vice Chancellor Robert Habeck announced the decision after a virtual meeting of G7 energy ministers, saying payment in rubles is not acceptable. Habeck said Russia's demand was a unilateral breach of existing contracts and urged companies involved not to follow Russia's demand. Last week, Russian President Vladimir Putin announced that unfriendly countries importing Russian gas will have to make payments in rubles. Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova has described Washington's military biological activities in Ukraine as a devil's plan. The spokesperson said that there are too many gaps in the plan that still have to be filled. The official also said that Russia will not rule out the possibility of launching a verification scheme under the Biological Weapons Convention. Russia's defense ministry said earlier that the United States invested more than $200 million in biological laboratories in Ukraine. Peruvian President Pedro Castillo has survived an impeachment vote. 55 lawmakers out of 130 in Congress voted in favor of the impeachment. Congress needed 87 votes to oust him. The president took office 8 months ago. The result will avoid a new political crisis in the short term, although his administration has seen 4 cabinets over the past months. The government of El Salvador says it's arrested more than 600 suspected gang members after a wave of killings over the weekend. Minister of Security Gustavo Villatoro says the suspects include leaders from the MS-13 gang who police believe had ordered the weekend killings. The arrests come after the government declared a state of emergency and prison lockdowns on Sunday to tackle spiraling homicides. The Legislative Council approved the state of emergency declaration after 87 murders were committed between Friday and Sunday. By comparison, police recorded 79 homicides through the entire month of February. The Chinese mainland reported more than 1,200 locally transmitted COVID-19 cases on Monday. Jilin reported over 1,000 infections, and Shanghai close to 100. Wang Qianhui updates the pandemic control measures in Shanghai.
Shanghai is putting its busy urban routine on pause. The city announced a 5-day mass testing period as COVID-19 spreads in China's financial powerhouse. At 5 a.m. on Monday morning, districts southeast of the Huangpu River, including Pudong, went on a closed-off management. Public transportation is suspended. All residents are advised to stay at home. Airports, train stations, and international traffic and freight are allowed to run as usual. The suspension will last 5 days. The other more populated half of the city, Puxi, where the historic Bund riverfront is located, will close off at 3 a.m. on Friday, 2 hours after Pudong opens back up. It took weeks for the city to decide to close off. Shanghai is a true megacity with 25 million people to feed. Grocery stores are working with communities to make sure residents have enough food at home. Designated ambulances will take residents in need of emergency medical care to the hospital.
And that's the news. I'm Shane Bigham.
Don't know what you're messing with. Why in the hell don't you leave it alone?
Who is she?
They look just like you and I, but inside they're different. They have no soul.
Who are you?
They call me the garbage man. I dispose of human garbage.
Why are you telling me all this?
Because you're in danger. There's been a little accident, an escape. They're very real, very dangerous, Jeff. Be careful.